everybody. Let's get the whole crew here because we got a big day. Thank you for joining us here on the Ravery Sports Podcast, our instant reaction to the Florida Atlantic Maryland game that's about to end here, and obviously the massive Texas Ohio State game. So, like and subscribe to all of my social media content in here on Driving to the Top, which you're going to see this season. It's going to be live, the instant reactions on Driving to the Top here as well. Preseason predictions video August 31st. So definitely check that out as well. That's going to be tomorrow night. We're going to have our preseason predictions video. Genesis Notary Services in Winchester, Virginia. If you know, you know about Winchester, Virginia, for all of our notary services that we have. Thank you all. And I purposely didn't take any notary gigs because I had football here to watch here today. All right, we got the big guy, the first lieutenant here at Driving to the Top here, the guy that handles the guy with real actual media experience, and the prince of Driving to the Top here, JM Josh, as these guys. No, we're not talking NASCAR. We're talking college football here today. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm good, man.
All right, awesome. So we got a couple games. I know you guys aren't the Maryland guys, so I'll go through that real quick because I know you guys want to talk about, obviously, we got Ohio State guy here. Maryland and Florida Atlantic still going on. I think it's over with now, 39-7. This was very much well in hand. First game for the Terps as well on the schedule. Maryland defense, I thought, was really good. David Wingate played college basketball in the 80s. I'm sorry. He did. Pick six, interception by Dante Joyner. I thought defense really looked good early. I thought the offense really kind of struggled, I thought, early, but the defense looked good. The new starting receiving corps, I really had an eye on that. Jaleel Farouk, Oklahoma guy last year, Rich. Octavian Smith, Dorian Fleming. A lot of people think this is the best tight end in the Big Ten. That's saying something considering all the tight ends coming out of the Big Ten. I thought they were solid as well. Malik Washington, true freshman, Rich. I mean, what would that have happened like all those years ago? I mean, this is new. This guy was just playing high school football at Archbishop Sterling. I thought he was shaky in the first quarter and grew more comfortable. 3 TDs, no interceptions, fantastic. I thought it took a while. This was a theme all day long. Maryland, too many penalties early on defense. That's the only thing that even kept it close early. I thought defensively they didn't look good. They looked good, but they were too many penalties. Caden Van Camp got intercepted by Levon Struggs from FAU quarterback Val Camp. Decent throws, but causing accuracy with several bad throws. So you don't find out much in a game like this. All you find out is the level worse or better than you think, right? Game one situation when you're playing a Big Ten team, playing the Florida Atlantic. You don't find out much. Early returns on Malik Washington is good. The receivers look good. Just got to tighten up a bit on defense, I think, to go ahead and do that. I don't know how good Maryland is in terms of the Big Ten, especially something we just saw, but early returns are good. I was really impressed with the quarterback play, especially, and a lot of the things I said on defense just lacking discipline in that. So, obviously, these guys are here, especially Josh. 14-7, Buckeyes and the Longhorns as well. Hook'em Horns. What you guys think of that?
It was a very defensive game.
Yeah, I didn't. There wasn't as much scoring as I thought there was going to be. I figured it was going to be very similar to what you see a lot of games first week of the season, where the first half, 10-7, 7-3, that kind of deal. And then you come out in the second half, the offenses open up a little bit, and next thing you know, it's 31-28. That's what I was expecting out of this game, especially with the way it was at halftime. You go in and it's 7-0, and you're not expecting these two teams to not put any. But boy, I can tell you this much: that defense for Ohio State came out flying at the very beginning. There was absolutely no question about it. That defense, um, despite the fact that they lost guys like Jack Sawyer to the NFL draft, they came out looking like that's a championship defense right out of the chute. So, I was really surprised at the lack of offense in the game, but I was also very impressed with Texas's defense and how they control not only the quarterback for Ohio State, but controlled their running game at the same time.
We're going to get to Arch, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, how much it goes back to my old thing that I talk about on open mic. How many of those 300 yards came in junk time?
You say that about Caleb Williams all the time. That's what you say about Caleb Williams.
I say it about a lot of NFL quarterbacks with those padded stats that, that you get those passing yards because your team's down 2 touchdowns. Okay, you had 120 passing yards going into the fourth quarter. You're down 14-0. Oh, all of a sudden now when they're playing prevent defense, which prevents you from winning, they, that now you're getting passing yards. So, it's one of those kind of deals.
That was exactly what I had in my notes here. Defense outshone the offense in this game. It wasn't just this game. I thought it was all the games, Rich and Josh. I thought like across the board, defense was ahead of offense. But let's not get it twisted. These are really good defense that these two teams have. These guys that up front, Texas is huge. Some of those guys consistently. Sark really recruits these big, strong guys up front. But I thought the defenses were way ahead of the offense as well. Lack of passing on both sides. Both teams ran the ball. I thought despite the fact both teams ran it, I don't know how well they did. In either side, I don't think we had really a guy really break out in the run game like they had hoped as well on either side. Again, swallowed up by the defense. I can tell you this. Despite the performance Arch had, they really respected his throwing because they were not letting him. Their strategy was, I saw this a lot with Peyton Manning, we're just going to take away all your deep stuff. That's what they were doing. We're going to take away all this deep stuff. We're going to give you size inside and pack it in, and that's it. Everything he had was dink dunk and everything as well. So I really think these are two really, really good defenses as well. It's not just week one is a thing, but the defenses are really, really good. Somebody's coming in here.
Yeah, and it seemed like from the Texas side with Ryan Wingo and from the Ohio State side with C.J. Donaldson, the defenses said, okay, we're not letting these guys beat us. Ryan Wingo is going to be a guy that when the season's over, he's going to be an all Big 12 guy. He's going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 100 catches, and he's going to be a guy that people are looking at in the NFL draft. Flip side, Ohio State, but today but Wingo today gets 2 catches for 35 yards. Donaldson carries it 19 times for 67 yards. He did get that touchdown, but Donaldson is a guy you expect to have 125, 150, 175 in a game, not 67. So the Texas defense really did a fantastic job of shutting him down. But I was also impressed with the way Ohio State shut down Quintravian Wisener. He's going to be a guy that is going to, again, be an all Big 12 guy. Limited, an 80-yard day isn't bad, but you're going to see him with a whole lot of days in triple digits by the time this season's over.
Two really good teams, despite of the ugliness of the game. I didn't go away from this saying, okay, these teams were bad or not as good as we thought or anything like that. But why did we really watch this game, right? We talked about Ohio State. They came in, they won all these, but we wanted to see the unveiling of Arch Manning, did we not? This was it. This was what we see. Despite the hype with Arch Manning, I thought he struggled all day long. Matthews, he got him on the interception as well. I thought that wasn't a very good throw. He just didn't look in rhythm all day long. They had him figured out. I thought that was very fascinating for a guy you really haven't seen on the field yet. They knew how to play him, Josh. I really thought that their defense really was locked in on Arch. So what do you think? What did you see with Arch, Josh? As far as what did you think? Because you were killing him in Twitter. If y'all didn't see that, like out there, what did you actually think?
I mean, I have a stats right here: 17 completions for 30 attempts. I mean, I don't know if that's good for this is his first official start. I mean, I know he has yards previously, but I mean, he played all right. I mean, he had some speed in the run. He was really shaking.
I thought hold on. Here we go.
Yeah.
Are you live there, brother?
It's a still picture.
It's a still picture. Can you hear him? I guess we can't hear him.
But you were talking about Arch, and I brought it up to a friend of mine that does radio for 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. It seemed like almost the entire game that Arch had happy feet. He never did the 5 or 7 step drop, planted his feet, boom, get the ball out. He was constantly bouncing and moving, and he just never seemed to get comfortable in the pocket. The pocket was there a lot of times. He just wasn't getting comfortable in it. And I don't know how much of that is. It's his first road game. His first road game is in the Horseshoe. That's pretty daunting in itself. But it's also all the hype of number 1 versus number 2 or number 1 versus number 3, depending on what poll you look at. I think it was just a lot of different things. The kid can play. Let's just put that out there right now. The kid can play. Is he going to be his uncle, either one of them? We don't know. He could be. I mean, he definitely has more running ability than either one of them. So let's also include that out there. But we'll see. Don't be putting all your eggs in the he's a bust or he's a stud basket right now. Give him a few games. Give him a chance to get everything together. I'm not a fan of the having these really high-ranking matchups week 1.
Why?
I'd rather see teams get a game under their belt.
Why don't you like it?
I'd rather see these teams get a game under their belt, get the rustiness away, that kind of thing, so that you're playing at your best. Because let's be perfectly honest, neither one of those teams played their best today. They're both going to make the playoffs, but neither one of these teams played their best today. That's why I don't like it. Play it week 2, that's fine. Go kick the living dog out of the Mighty Sisters of the Poor and the deaf, dumb, and blind. That's fine. That's not a problem. But don't put 4 versus 6 tonight, LSU and Clemson. I'm afraid we're going to run into a similar issue there. I don't think LSU and Clemson are going to be at their peak, where if they played week 2, they would be a lot closer to that peak. But that's just me.
Go ahead, Josh.
You're a radio man, so when you put these high-ranking matchups in the first week, opening weekend, that's going to get the most amount of money, though.
I think you're going to get huge crowds, huge money, no matter what week 1 of college football season. As big as college football is, you could be playing junior colleges, and it wouldn't matter. You have a ton of teams out there that pay teams to come in so that they can beat them by 60 to get actual gameplay and all that. And the sponsors are still there and all that stuff. I don't think it makes one bit of difference whether you've got LSU and Clemson or if you've got Pitt and Duquesne. I really don't, and Pitt beat Duquesne, I think, by 48 today. I don't really think that matters from the rating standpoint, from the sponsor standpoint. I don't think it matters.
I don't think you couldn't be more wrong about it, because you're a guy, and I can hear it. You're from Texas and you're from Pennsylvania, right? That doesn't matter there. Right? That's football territory. You could have anything in Texas, especially in Pennsylvania. If you're in Maryland, that matters. That Maryland game today, I mean, there must not have been. If they had 10,000 there today, it was sad. The student section, they showed the picture on Twitter. The student section was packed, and then the rest of the stadium was. It's a business, and these networks are paying way too much money. I think he's dead on the head. They want games week 1, right? Because usually September there was nothing really to watch in September, right? They played the Sisters of the Poor all month, maybe get one game. Big Ten games didn't even start till October. So, like nowadays, with all the money that these networks are paying, it ain't gonna work. You're not going to be able to. They're going to have to play. They're going to have to come up off and play these games early and spend money on that. And it does matter from a business standpoint. You're talking about football, though, just from that sense, right? The teams getting themselves together. Yeah, go ahead.
Right, but you also have to look at the school. Is it a football school? Because let's use Kentucky as the example, okay? Kentucky may not sell out today, but they're not a football school. They're a basketball school that has a football program. So, football may not be the number one priority, and they would need to have that big game. You go to UCLA, or you go to Michigan, or Ohio State, or Penn State, or whoever. Penn State sold out today. They're playing Nevada. They're going to knock Nevada by 60. It don't matter. Happy Valley is sold out. You can't get a ticket to Happy Valley.
You're making my point.
Because I know, right, but Georgia, University of Georgia, one of the stations I work for is in Georgia. Georgia's playing Marshall today. Stadium sold out. So I think I agree with what you're saying, but I think it also comes into the thing of is it a football school, or is it a basketball school, or that kind of thing too. How hungry are fans to go to those games? I mean, you know better than I do. How does Maryland do when they play, let's say, Rutgers, or if they played Northwestern?
When they're playing Ohio State and Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And those schools, those are big crowds, big attendance, and it's sold out state. When they're playing games like this, there's nobody there. There's nobody there compared to, and I don't bang on crowds because I don't buy tickets anymore, really. Because I'm not one of these guys that bangs on the crowd. But these games, these TV games matter. Fox is spending a lot of money. ESPN is spending a lot of money. They're spending a lot of money. They want games in September to go ahead. I mean, they launched their streaming service today. Fox did. So they're spending a lot of money on these games. They want games early on. I just have more of a fan perspective with that type of stuff, schedule and all that. Two more things about the game we want to go over. Jermaine Smith was a key part of the game plan. A lot of people think he's going to win the Heisman Trophy. Had unusual drops early. Didn't look good early. Again, kind of going to Rich's point of guys not being polished at all. Carnell Tate made a huge catch late in the game from Julian Salen in the game. I thought that was really good. That kind of was the difference in the game. It turned out to be that. Again, guys unpolished early. I thought the Ohio State quarterback. Let's talk about him a little bit. What was your thoughts on? What were you guys' thoughts on that? He's got big shoes to fill too. Like, they just won a national championship. Will Howard did make Pittsburgh Steelers, right? You're coming in as a freshman playing on this team with this great receiver, good receiving group. I thought they protected him today, right? Is that right or wrong? Fair to say that they were protecting him? What do you guys think?
I would say, yeah. 13 out of 20, that's a lot better than Oich. He didn't have an interception, so that is the key thing right there.
You had to add that arch
Yeah.
part there.
Well,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, but and Josh is right. I mean, he did have a better completion percentage than Arch. He didn't throw an interception. He protected the ball very well. Um, Arch really did too, because outside of that interception, I don't remember him throwing any other balls, except there was one that he threw in the first half into double coverage that could have been picked. Outside of that, he protected the ball pretty well too. So I'll give Arch the credit on that. But yeah, I mean, you're walking in defending national champions. The quarterback you're replacing is now quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you've got to play in front of 110 on a sellout, 110K,
Mm-hmm.
and they're expecting you to come out looking like gangbusters. Now, granted, he got the dub. That's all. That's all those fans are going to care about. They don't care if he threw for 400 yards or 4 yards. They got the win, and that's all they're going to care about. But I think he did relatively well considering. I think Ryan Day and that coaching staff set up a good offensive scheme for him too today, to allow him to not have to do too much.
Right, and
That's just me.
That goes to my last point. Coaches Steve Garcia and Ryan Day protected Arch Manning and Julius Salen. I thought Arch really didn't. We really didn't get to see what we wanted to see as far as him until we got to the fourth, and they were really trailing. Like with Tristan's point, garbage time. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure the result of this is going to matter in the grand scheme of the national title picture with the playoff the way it is. I will say this: I was disappointed just watching football games to see that we didn't get to see that. This is Steve Garcia, right? The mad scientist, right? Sark is all this exotic stuff. We really didn't get that. Ryan Day, known as this play caller, got the gig from, and it just run up the middle. That tells me he was a little nervous. Both quarterbacks was a little nervous. Both coaches were a little nervous about their QB in general. 14-7 was the final. Go ahead, Rich. I'm sorry, you were ready to say something.
No. I was agreeing with you. I've never been, and this definitely puts me in the minority. I'm not a big Sark fan. I have never been a fan of Sarkisian, no matter where he's been, because it seems like he has his own thing, but he's not doing the number one job that college coaches are supposed to do: get players ready for the NFL. And we've talked about this on open mic with Sark, but it's not just at Texas. When he was at Alabama, when he was other places, he doesn't get a whole lot of guys that become major successes in the pros. And Sark in college. But even at that, when's the last time Texas was? Yeah, they made the semifinals last year. Okay, fine. But outside of the Vince Young year under Matt Brown, when's the last time Texas was really going after a national title?
To me, you're right about that. I think when I think about Texas football, they're historically the bridesmaid. Good preseason comp, good players, preseason this, preseason that, good record, not really national title. However, the defense I will give of them is absolutely the same thing we said about the Buckeyes up until last year, who finally did break through and win the whole thing even though they lost to Michigan, but which it seems like for some crazy reason that's the only thing Buckeye fans care about. But even winning the title, but this is why we're watching this today to see, okay, can they finally break through from the bridesmaid thing as well? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, but here's another thing you got to look at too, Rav. I've already been through this once before with A&M. When they left the Big 12 and went to the SEC, they're thinking they're walking in there and they're going to be the cock of the walk. They're going to be walking in there and contending for national championships and all this kind of stuff. And the SEC went and just beat the snot out of them. And they're a 6-6 team, 7-5, maybe 8-4 at best. Texas was thinking the same thing. So was OU. they were both looking, okay, we're going to the SEC. It's going to be a whole lot better competition than the Big 12, but we're better than all those guys anyway. OU was average at best last year. Texas had a good run last year. They had a real nice run, got to the semifinals. I get that. But we're seeing the same type of thing. SEC football and the quality of players in the SEC is considerably different. I don't care, and I'm not a big proponent of the SEC being the conference and all that.
It most certainly is not.
But the upper tier of the SEC is really good. When you're talking the Georgias and the LSUs and that kind of thing, those teams are super good. They're not good enough to beat. They're really good, and you better pack a lunch and bring your work hat to be able to beat these guys, and they haven't been able to. And I think that's where the difference is going to come in. Let's see what Texas does when they get into their SEC schedule, where they've got to play Georgia this year. They've got to go play at Florida. If I remember correctly, they don't play Alabama this year. They play Auburn, who I just watched last night. That quarterback for Auburn can run, and that offense can run. They put 301 yards up on a Baylor defense that people thought was going to be pretty good. And they made that front seven look ridiculous. So, it's going to be, yes, it's only one loss today, but let's see what happens over the course of the season and the development of Arch Manning at the same time.
I couldn't disagree with you more about the SEC being great. I thought ever since Nick Saban retired, I thought it immediately drop because Alabama was really holding it up in terms at the top for the longest time. Georgia's really good. I'll give you that. But you look at the depth of the Big Ten, and I'm not just saying that because Maryland is in it, okay? But you look at a lot of these teams in the Big Ten, they're consistently better in I'm talking about the last 2-3 years. I'm not talking about previous 10 where you could say, okay, you say the SEC. But you look at a Penn State, right, who has been a top 5 team, and we just call them names all the time. It's like, are they going to be good enough, et cetera, to go ahead? Because they're in the same division with Michigan and Ohio State, which has been there. Even Michigan this year, I thought they would be an upper echelon team in the SEC, where they're middle in that as well. So I don't worry so much about Texas playing in the SEC, except for when they play Georgia or maybe Alabama. I think they'll be fine doing that. As well. But I do think the result of this, I'm not sure it hurts them too much now because now you got playoffs, right? And the SEC and Big Ten get favor. We could argue that whether that's right or wrong, but they get favored. They're going to get favors in that, and I think both of these teams will be in a 12-team playoff.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah. I was saying that earlier. I think they're both in. And please don't get me wrong. I was saying that the upper echelon of the SEC, yes, they're really, really good. Just like the upper echelon of the Big Ten. You brought them up, and you're 1,000% right. Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, and then don't forget about Wisconsin, who's always really good. And then you have that occasional team that sneaks in there, like a Michigan State or something like that. And, oh, by the way, those guys in the Northeast that have got all the green and yellow uniforms, those guys are pretty solid too. So, and I'm speaking, of course, of the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
The Big Ten, it's really weird because I don't think that there's a conference that top to bottom is really good. But, when you look at the upper half, you're right. It seems like when Saban retired, a lot of that balance of power kind of went, and now it's kind of this way with the Big Ten and the SEC.
That was their last really dominant team with the Crimson Tide there. Really, when Saban left, and I like Kalen DeBoer. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing them at all, but they had such a dominance on there. It kind of masked some of the fall of the rest of those teams in that conference. But how do we think Arch? Let's switch to Arch real quick again. How do you think Arch will do the rest of the year at this? Because this was about as tough as you could do in any first game, right? You're playing on the road, defending national championship, 101,000 people. I mean, I got to think this is going to be the highest rated game they've ever had, right? In terms of watching it. I mean, we're here talking about it. So how do you think how do you think that's going to go for him the rest of the year as well?
I'm going to let Josh go first. He's the big Arch Manning critic.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. He definitely ain't winning Heisman. It said, like, in a graphic that he was the preseason Heisman winner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think so. Especially, I mean, we can't judge him off of one performance, but, I mean, like, I'm trying to be, like, not biased, but it's so hard not to when you hate him so much.
I will say though, him throwing the football, I do see he likes that sidearm stuff, and that's really where he was inaccurate today. When he had a chance to set up and actually throw the ball traditionally in the pocket, I thought it was much better. But I thought 4 or 5 times he tried to sidearm it, and it was incomplete or whatever. So I think he needs to just be a little bit more fundamentally sound as whatever, because the hype isn't going to go away. It's not going to go away. He hasn't even been playing, and it's Texas. The numbers and everything went up for them, so it'll be interesting. Go ahead. You're actually in Texas, Rich. You tell me.
Well, yeah, and the first pass he threw, he rolled out to his right and short hopped the receiver. I think you're 100% right. The mechanics have got to get better on the rollout. When he was able to plant his feet and throw like he did in the fourth quarter, I mean, he threw a couple of absolute dimes in the fourth quarter. The touchdown pass that he threw, and then there was a play on the last drive that he threw up the left sideline that he just dropped it right into the receiver's hand over the defensive back, and he went out of bounds with it for about a 25-yard pickup. It's there. It's there. But I also agree that, it's been 21 years since the preseason favorite for Heisman Trophy won it. And that was Matt Leinart.
And him running the football was probably, I think, is going to be underrated. He's going to have to do that. That's really the only time I saw today where they really moved the football is when he was actually running with the football. He ran for a couple first downs. I thought the 2 big mistakes, he didn't get that 4th and goal where they were on the goal line there. Didn't get that tush push. Ohio State actually knocked it back. I thought that was huge. If they'd have gotten that would changed everything. And also, too, the pick that he had, I thought that was bad as well. But he just never just looked like he got in the rhythm. And Sark really didn't really do anything. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. But see, that's one of remember I was talking about Sark earlier, okay? You got snuffed 2 plays before that. The play call there by 80% of the coaches in the country, maybe 90%, you play action the handoff up the middle, and the tight end leaks, and there's nobody within 50 yards of it. And you got a tight end standing there that Arch just throws the ball to, and it's a touchdown. You don't, it's not one of those the third time it's going to work. It didn't work the first 2 times. It's probably not going to work the third time either. And that was the 3rd, 4th, and 1 that they didn't get today. It just so happened it was right there on the goal line. You got to do something different. They're expecting you to do that quarterback sneak. They're expecting you to do it. Ohio State did what they do. The defensive lineman the nose guard got underneath his lineman, and that didn't allow Manning to get over the top of the pile. Play calling. And who's calling the offensive plays at the University of Texas? Steve Sarkisian.
Well, and those of you out there watching, we've had the whole time one guy getting on Sarkisian the whole time, while the other guy's getting on Arch Manning the whole time.
And it's not, and I'm not against UT. I'm lukewarm on UT, but I'm not a Sarkisian guy.
Mm.
So they've got, in fact, one of my best friends from high school's son is the starting left tackle for the University of Texas, Trevor Gooseby. Me and his dad ran the streets of Arlington together for, from the time we were about 8 years old. That's not, I'm not going against Texas. I just look at things more down the middle, and Sark is just not one of those guys that. I'm not a Dave Aranda guy either, for those that are wondering, even though I got the Baylor thing behind me.
Right.
I'm not a Dave Aranda guy either.
All right. So one other thing I did want to go over today, the other one today, and we don't have Haas here, we don't have Marcus here, talk about Clemson and LSU. I think this is huge for both schools today. Clemson really was elite. Kind of their fall kind of march with Alabama there, like this. Now you got K. Kubrick at quarterback, and now you have a chance of really getting back to where they were as a top 5 program, and it's kind of the same with LSU as well. What do you guys think? I mean, as far as Clemson and LSU, as far as that goes.
I don't really follow them, but I know I'm gonna watch the game because 4-9, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I'm gonna watch that, but I don't really follow the two schools that much.
This has never happened where we've had 2 teams. I don't remember it. 2 teams, 2 top 10 games, 2 where both schools were in the top 10 week 1. I don't ever remember that. We had 2 like this as well in Death Valley, I think. And I think the best football, I don't care what anybody says, watching that at Clemson, and maybe I'm a little biased because I watched so many Maryland games at Clemson in the ACC, but watching that at the beginning of Death Valley, I don't think there's anything better than that as well. As far as a college football game, having that game at 7:30 as well. Is Kubick the best quarterback in college football here? Because I didn't think it was Archman. I think that was unfair to say Kubick is the best quarterback, or is it Drew Aller?
I think you got three guys in the discussion, and 2 of them are in this game. Because a lot of people are really sleeping on Garrett Nussmeier at LSU, and he's a really good quarterback. Drew Aller, to me, was my preseason favorite for the Heisman. Is Klubnik going to have a shot at getting it? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a fun race between those 3 if they can stay healthy and their team stays successful. Obviously, somebody's going to lose tonight. And of course, when LSU and Clemson play, it's the whole thing of who has the better Death Valley. Because both home stadiums are called Death Valley.
Yes, sir.
But this, it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. Unfortunately, it won't be dark when they start the game, but it'll be close. The over-under on this game is 57.5. With the way things have been going, I don't know that we're going to see that much. But I'm picking LSU to win this game tonight. I really am. I really think that Nussmeier has taken this team on his back. And here's a little stat for you. LSU is 0-5 in their last 5 season openers. Brian Kelly has not won a season opener at LSU. So good a time as any to start, right? I've got LSU winning this game tonight, but I think it's going to be a heck of a game back and forth. I really do. I don't think either team blows out.
Dabo Swinney, part of the problem he's had is he really been one of the biggest one, at least, to really not really do transfer portal. He's kind of stuck with the old school, keep guys, have guys move. This year, he evolved a little bit. Not much, moving towards it. So I think that it's helped him. I think he's got the good quarterback, and I don't think they're going to go down in this. I think you will have offense in this one. right? Those teams are not. You're not going to have any of that 14-7 stuff in Death Valley. You're going to have teams that actually score points in this one for sure. They're going to have a lot more confidence in the quarterbacks than we saw today. Like they didn't. These coaches are going to air it out. Brian Kelly and Dabo Sweeney are going to air it out in this one as well.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, and I realize this may not have anything to do with anything, this is the first game that Clemson is actually selling alcohol in their concession stands. Realize the fact that everybody was already having their fair share of alcohol outside the stadium before they came in. But this is the raucous Clemson crowd is going to be a more raucous Clemson crowd. And home field, especially in college, man, does make a big difference.
You could call, and this is unpopular. People watching this are going to think this is stupid. As far as I'm concerned, you can cancel alcohol at all the games, man. The only problems you have is people just got to have too much to drink or have too. They've kind of stopped it somewhat. I mean, growing up in Baltimore, you go to Memorial Stadium, and that's just every game, every Oriole game, there used to be a fight. Like, and it was always two guys drunk. They were never sober. Like, so, like, as far as I'm concerned, they could just stop. Like, you know, I see you got Josh Age, I'm taking my son, and then I got to see that foolishness. So, as far as I'm concerned, they could have that. But you're right. They're going to be extra fired up.
I can guarantee you this. Unless something just absolutely goes haywire and the world starts spinning on a different axis, you will not see beer sales at McLean Stadium. I live in the buckle of the Bible Belt, and Waco, Texas is the little jewel in the middle of that belt buckle, and Baylor University is that, you know, what holds the jewel there. You'll never see that at Baylor. Never. I can guarantee you that. You can bet your house on that.
People don't understand that if you live in even Maryland and Virginia, it's a big difference. Like Maryland is, you could call it South, but it has that Northeast feel in a lot of ways. And Virginia, it's a whole different type of vibe in terms of all that type of stuff. The people are very much, it's more of a closed off type society. I know Rich knows what I'm talking about. Like people are much different than they are in a city as well. They would never. Yeah, they in Baltimore, I can never imagine this. Like, there's no beer. Oh, that's never going to work.
Right? That'd be like going to the Eastern Shore and not getting no Orange Crush. What? Huh? Where? Yeah.
All right, one more time here. I'm sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
Can I add some Arch Manning?
Go ahead, man.
Even though I don't like him, if he gets his mechanics right, I'm definitely gonna put him in the Heisman watch next year, not this year.
Do you think he stays in college after this year? I guess it depends on how it goes. I'm not as convinced that he stays.
I know Rich said it on Open Light a couple weeks ago that he is gonna finish his. He said he wants to finish his education.
Yeah, he's gone public with that, and he's already on a path to have his degree in 2.5 years instead of the typical 4. But at the same time, I'm with Rav. I think it depends on how this year plays out. I think it depends on how the NFL season plays out. If he wins a national championship and the Colts are the worst team in the NFL, he might be out the door.
Are we happy that Ohio State won? I know Josh is.
Yeah, that is my sister, by the way.
I am.
I'm not one way or the other. Part of me was actually rooting for Texas today. I think more than Ohio State because of the fact that they haven't really won yet. We kind of get the Texas hype every year, and then we kind of. So I'm kind of like, in some ways, like tired of them being the bridesmaid, and can they actually go all the way and go through, like we saw?
Well, and see that's what sours me on Texas. It's all the hype. That's part of what sours me on the guys that have the rating on the side of their helmet. The Cowboys. For those that haven't,
yeah.
The overhype, you know, Texas this, Texas that. I was the same way with Alabama. Bama got more 50-50 calls than any college team, than any team in the history of sports. So, yeah, I'm not on the hype train for Texas. I think they're a good team. I don't think they're that good. And, yeah, I was pulling for Ohio State today.
Yeah, I'm not of either. But this game was but I really wanted to see how this went as well. And we're going to get some good games, I think, all year. One more time, Florida State. But that's not right. It was 39. It was the other way.
And if you do want an update at Florida State, 7-7 Alabama, Florida State, 21 seconds left in the first quarter.
Florida Atlantic Florida Atlantic, I meant to say, in Maryland, 39-7. That was the result earlier for them for that. And Texas and Ohio State, 14-7. Buckeyes actually, I don't think there's no question, right? Number one ranking, regardless of whatever it was today, they're going to be ranked number one whenever the rankings come out. The unanimous, nobody votes against Ohio State, correct? I mean, you guys agree on that? I don't think there's no question about that. All right, do you guys have anything else with that before we get out of here?
Yeah, I would like to talk about Boise State. They got absolutely steamrolled without Ashton Jeanty.
Boise State is, I think, one of the best college programs anywhere. And the people in Idaho, I've always wondered how are you able to convince a young man, African American, 17, to go to Idaho and play? Seriously, I mean, and these year after year, they've been really good. I mean, I think we shouldn't be so surprised that they're good. I mean, we're surprised that we lost. I mean, but Boise has been really good. I thought that was one of the best plays I ever saw in college football in the Orange Bowl years ago was Boise State. So I mean, I just wonder that sometimes. How are you convincing somebody to go to Boise, Idaho? I'm serious. I mean, now it's obviously money involved. I think it was money then too. That's a whole nother thing. But like, I mean, how to go to Boise, Idaho as a young person? Josh, you're going to college soon. I mean, would you want to go to school in Boise, Idaho?
No.
The party capital of the world. Come on, man.
And sometimes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'd much rather go to something more local.
Yeah, I mean, or for instance, some schools like Georgia Tech. I don't know why that's not popping. I mean, why couldn't you convince players to play in Atlanta or play in play in New York or play in, you want to go to, I mean, if you ever go to Oklahoma or Nebraska, these places are really in the middle of nowhere. So that's how you actually become a good player, because there's nothing to do. But when I was stationed in Nebraska,
both of those places.
I mean, when I was stationed in Nebraska, man, it was like, man, that corn stuff is real. That's real stuff. Like, you're really running. Yeah. We really were doing running in the corn all the time. So I'm not dissing y'all out there that are watching this if you're from those places. But I'm just thinking it's the dynamics of that I always thought was strange. That's all. I mean, how are you convincing young people to do it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a number of years ago, but when I was doing Baylor baseball, we flew to Nebraska when Nebraska was still in the Big 12. We flew from Waco to Nebraska to go to Lincoln for a game. We had to fly to Kansas City and drive from Kansas City to Lincoln, 2.5 hours. Oh, yeah. Couldn't fly into Lincoln. I don't know if you can now, but you couldn't fly directly into Lincoln. I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. Same thing with Lawrence, Kansas. Same thing with Manhattan, Kansas and Kansas State, respectively. Same scenario. And I'm like, I mean, heck, you can at least fly into Waco. You can at least fly into Waco. It's a small airport, but you can at least fly into Waco.
You can fly into Omaha and Nebraska. And what's the other one? You can fly into it's not Lincoln. I think Omaha's the only one. I think
Omaha's the only one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can go in if or you got to go to Kansas City and do it. If you don't go there, then you can drive from there.
Well, and you can't fly into Stillwater or into Norman.
No,
you fly into Oklahoma City and drive,
you
or
can
Tulsa and
fly.
drive.
I know you can fly into Lawton, Oklahoma, where I was
You
at.
can,
But most of the time you can't do that either because it's not that big and you can't get flight. A lot of times with us, we were in Lawton. It was like you got to go to Oklahoma City, which is like an hour and change away. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get flights. Like even actually the Army can't get flights like, to go to Lawton to the duty station. All right,
Well, we would drive if it was Oklahoma City. If we were going to Stillwater or Norman or Oklahoma City for the Big 12 tournament at that time, we'd just drive. It was easier. It was an 8-hour drive, and we just straight up 35.
All right. Thank you guys, Britch. Thank you very much for spending the day. Josh as well. I'm sure he's happy with the Ohio State victory there as well. Terps actually getting the win here. Yeah, like it's that's down hook 'em horns for y'all that didn't understand.
Yeah. Appreciate the invite, man.
All right. So, and also too, tomorrow on the Ravy Sports Podcast, preseason predictions of all the NFL teams as well. Monday, we're going to do, for those that you know, Genesis Notary Service. We're going to do a live stream from a notary business as well. Thank all of you that have supported that. Thank you guys for joining us here for the post game for Ohio State and FSU in Maryland. Football is back. We're all grateful. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.